Raider Nation, before we get into today's news and rumors, and I'm wearing my Derek Carr jersey for a reason, we're going to be doing a March Madness challenge over on Locals, and it's only for supporters only. So if you want to go ahead and join, it's RaidersReport.locals.com. That link's going to be available for you all in the comments and description of today's video. And the winner of the March Madness challenge gets a signed Rich Gannon helmet. Thanks to the brothers over there on Valley Sports on Facebook. Much love to them, but if you want a Rich Gannon signed helmet, you got to become a supporter at RaidersReport.locals.com and win my March Madness tournament. Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and there is a lot, and I mean a lot to talk about here on today's show. We're going to be looking at some contract restructures, the Raiders salary cap, the latest going on with Henry Ruggs, Bobby Wagner, the Colts potentially trading for Derek Carr, and then a monumental trade that just went down in the AFC West. The first thing that I want to say, though, is first off, I want to give my flowers to Alec Ingold. He was not tendered today by the Raiders, and when he posted on Instagram, it looks like his time with the Raiders is done. So all I want you guys to do is show some love to the former team captain, type 45, down in the comments. I have a lot of respect for Ingold, everything that he was able to bring on and off the field. Much love to him. You will be missed, and you will definitely be a Raider for life. Go ahead and spam those 45s. Now, bright and early, I wake up this morning, and I saw a tweet from Field Yates that said, the Raiders, and anytime I see a tweet like this, the first thing I wake up, I'm like, shit, what did I miss? The Raiders, though, they restructured two contracts, Kolton Miller and Kenyan Drake. This is going to free up about $14.525 million in 2022 cap space. What this means exactly for Miller is, here's how his cap is going to be hitting the Raiders the next 4 seasons. $6.7 million for Miller is an absolute steal, and even $17.6, $15.6, and then that in 2024 and 2025. It's good value for a left tackle, a lot like Miller. Now let's look at Kenyan Drake's cap hit, because he's going to be making $3.8 million this year, and then they essentially just tacked on 4 void years. So essentially what this means is, if the Raiders decide to not keep Kenyan Drake, let's say next season, because this is technically the final year on his deal, it's going to be a $7.7 million dead cap hit in 2023. If the Raiders decide to keep Kenyan Drake, well, then he'll make that 4.4 that season. And if they decide to move on from him, essentially, you're just going to have to eat those void years. That's essentially what that is. So right now what this means is the Raiders are somewhere around $32 million in cap space as it stands right now. NFL free agency gets started on Monday, which is definitely something that I can't wait for here. There's no doubt about it. So what do you guys think? Why did the Raiders make these moves? Because I know I had my take, and I put it out there on Twitter, at MitchellRents365, but I believe a lot of people were a little bit confused on why the Raiders decided to do those things. I initially thought contract extension, and then I was like, well, I don't think it was Derek Carr. Personally, I think the contract extension that comes first is Maxx Crosby, and the 5 players that you're about to see here are the top 5 dudes in the order that I think the Raiders, if they give out an extension, they end up doing it. Maxx Crosby, shout out to my guy Raider Honcho. He gave me some love today on his show, so I'll send the love back to you, brother. At number 2, it was Darren Waller, tight end. I know he's got 2 years left on his deal, but there are multiple rumors out there that he wants a raise and he could potentially hold out. Look for the Raiders to try to make Darren Waller happy. Now, I'm going to get into 3, 4, 5, but before I do, hey, y'all, if you want to go ahead and put some money where your mouth is, there is one place to do it and one place only. That's at BetUS. So if, let's just say, you want to go ahead and bet on March Madness because you're going ahead and you're competing with me over on Locals, go to chatsports.com/Raiders. You just got to use this promo code right here. It's Raiders125. It's going to get you 125% deposit bonus. What does that mean exactly? It means if you put down $100, you're going to get $125 for free. The way that I like to think about that is, imagine buying a pizza. Then you get another pizza for free, and then that pizza place also throws in an additional 2 slices on top of that. That's how good of a deal this is. If you're wondering, all right, Mitch, who are the top teams out there to bet on for the March Madness tournament? You got the Georgia Bulldogs at plus 450, the Wildcats of Arizona, Kentucky at plus 650, the Duke Blue Devils, the Baylor Bears, and if you want to go ahead and bet, remember, it's chatsports.com/Raiders, promo code Raiders125. Let's get back into some of these extension candidates. I got Derek Carr, Coming in at number 3, and don't worry, we're going to talk about Derek Carr in a trade a little bit later on. Hunter Renfrow is going to come in here at number 4. I see Renfrow, if he gets an extended, getting probably about a 4-year, let's say $48 million in total dollar extension deal where you're going to get like $22 million in guaranteed dollars. At number 5, it's Yannick Ngakoue. He's got 1 year left on his deal. I am curious to see how he's going to fit in Patrick Graham's new defense, but he's no doubt talented, and at $13 million a year, yeah, I want to keep Yannick and Maxx Crosby in silver and black as long as possible. Now, if the Raiders decide to extend anybody, if there's a blockbuster trade like Derek Carr gets shipped off to the Indianapolis Colts, we're going to be going live on the channel here, so make sure you're subscribed. Make sure those notifications are turned on as well, because any breaking news, any big-time news, if you're just looking for daily videos around the Raiders, we got you covered. Also today, I've been getting asked a lot, all right, Mitch, you talked about $32 million in salary cap space. What exactly is going to be happening with Henry Ruggs, and what exactly is going to be happening with Damon Arnette? So Henry Ruggs' preliminary hearing in his DUI case, it was postponed today, and everything that I see and everything I hear is like, you're not going to see the money that Ruggs and even a guy like Damon Arnette, you're not going to see that money put on the salary cap this year. If anything, it might take a little bit. So in terms of 2022 salary cap hits, the Raiders are still technically paying Henry Ruggs $4.84 million in terms of dead cap hit. Damon Arnette at $3.66 million. That is a total of $8.5 million. Hashtag math, right? At least we're just going to round up a little bit. So in terms of, are the Raiders going to have 8.5 at this current moment? No, they won't. Do I think that they eventually will have that money? Yes, I do. So in terms of getting the money from Ruggs and Arnette, the Raiders are going to have to start a grievance with Ruggs and Damon to recoup that signing bonus money, and if convoluted, it would take time even if they were successful. So I've said for a while that it's going to be conduct detrimental to the team. It just might not happen this year. It might even take next year, but sooner or later, you're going to see that money come back to the silver and black. The reason why you probably clicked on this video is because the biggest story going on right now around the Raiders is the Colts potentially wanting Derek Carr. There was a report that came out yesterday that the Colts are all in on Carr. Today on the Pat McAfee show, he said that he heard from a source that the Colts want to go ahead and trade for DC. Now, yesterday I went on my Twitter, and I threw out some different styles of ideas of what could a potential trade look like, this and that, this and that. And I was like, well, I knew people were going to be a little bit upset about it, but the Colts don't have a 2022 first-round pick. I know the Raiders, they don't want to move on from Derek Carr. Josh McDaniels said just a few days ago that DC will absolutely be the starting quarterback for Las Vegas in Week 1. So here's the trade I threw together, and I thought it was funny because Raiders Twitter was like, oh my gosh, you're not getting a first-round pick for DC. This is the worst trade ever. And then every single Colts fan was like, why the hell would the Colts ever do this trade, right? I mean, it's what I love about fans. But here was the deal that I did. I had a second, a third, and a fifth-round pick in 2022. Raiders get Quenton Nelson, who's arguably the best guard in all of football, Branden Smith, who's one of the best right tackles in all of football, and then Darius Leonard, a top 3 linebacker in the NFL. So what I want to know from y'all is, who won that trade? Go ahead and type LV for the Raiders, or I want you to go ahead and type IND for the Indianapolis Colts. And let me just make one thing very, very clear. I don't think that that trade is going to happen. Why? Because if the Colts got that deal, they would hang up the phone and they would laugh. The only reason why I went ahead and I said I would do that is because if you're all in, okay, then prove it. Because if you don't have a first-round pick for me, I'm going to want a bunch of different players. Because if you're going to try to compete up against Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Justin Herbert, it's lopsided for a reason. And now the trade that the Chargers just made, why am I going to give Derek Carr away for something that personally I don't feel like is an absolute steal for the Raiders? You don't have to trade DC. So for that reason, I'm not going to do it for just, I don't know, a few second-round picks and a first-rounder in 2023. The Raiders would be dumb to make a trade involving Carr for a 2023 first. Why? McDaniels needs to win now. Because if you don't win now, everyone's going to be coming for your neck. I'm telling you that. Promise you. So let's just say, Indianapolis Colts, they figure out a way to make a deal. Derek Carr, he's heading on over to Indy. Because then I've been getting asked, well, who the heck would replace Carr at quarterback? Here would be my top 5 candidates. And the reason why I have Jacoby Brissett, Mitchell Trubisky, and Marcus Mariota, they're all free agents. So it's Brissett at 5, He knows the McDaniel system, at least he's worked with them before. Trubisky would be an interesting name to keep in mind. You just decide to bring back Marcus Mariota. The top two guys are where I really want you to concentrate. The most likely one, I think, would actually be Jimmy Garoppolo. Give up a second-round pick to the 49ers, maybe a third-rounder. You pay him $24.1 million, a guy who has had success with Josh McDaniels. And then number one, I don't know exactly what's going on with Deshaun Watson quite yet, but if you can upgrade at quarterback and if you were to be able to tell me, okay, we're going to trade Derek Carr in hopes of getting Deshaun Watson, if Deshaun Watson's innocent, that's a trade I would go ahead and do, because if you can upgrade at the quarterback position, I'm on board for it. But let me make it clear, I don't really think the Raiders are going to move on from Derek Carr. And if they do, oh, man, we're going to be going live. So the next thing that we're going to be breaking down here is around Bobby Wagner, because once the Seattle Seahawks moved on from Wagner, I had everyone and their brother ask me, do you think the Raiders are going to go out and get him? Well, at this current moment, I do not see it happening, because I don't see linebacker being a major need for this team, considering the fact that they have a lot of other holes to be able to get filled, giggity. And Seattle ended up saving 16.6. I'm not necessarily sure how much money he's going to get. If I was Wagner, I would want probably 12, 13, 14, $15 million. It's a little bit too much for a linebacker for my taste. But what do y'all think here? Go down in the comments section and let me know. Do you want the Raiders to sign Bobby Wagner? Go ahead and type Y for yes, or you can go ahead and type your N for no. Bad news, nation. If you were going ahead and you're typing that Y for yes, it doesn't really sound like at this current moment the silver and black are actually in the mix. And here was a tweet that came from Jordan Schultz earlier today. It says, a massive market is developing for former Seahawks All-Pro linebacker Bobby Wagner. Dolphins, Ravens, Chargers, Broncos, Rams, Cardinals, Niners, Cowboys are all in the mix. And I get it. There's going to be a lot of people in the mix for Wagner. Why? He's one of the best linebackers, if not the best linebacker in the National Football League as it stands. But when you have the amount of holes that the Raiders do, I don't think going out and paying a linebacker over $12 million is the way to go. Now, I do want to give a major shout-out to my cousin Andrew. He runs the Valley Bros Cards and Memorabilia Facebook group. He's the one who's hooking us up with a Rich Gannon signed helmet, and if you guys, for whatever reason, aren't going to join us in our March Madness tournament, it's all good. We're also going to be doing another giveaway with them. It's going to be a Marcus Allen signed helmet. So if you want a chance to win that, go ahead, give them a follow on Facebook. The link is chatsports.com/ValleyBros, or you can just go to that Facebook page and give them a follow. It's as simple as that, but they're the ones where we're going to be doing a lot more giveaways this season. The last thing that I'm talking about here is Khalil Mack, and here's the thing. He's not even on the Chicago Bears anymore, because he was traded today to the Los Angeles Chargers. Mack now joins Joey Bosa, and the AFC West is just absolutely stacked. Not only did the Denver Broncos go out and trade for Russell Wilson, the Los Angeles Chargers are like, well, we got to stop Mahomes. We got to stop Russell Wilson. The worst quarterback in the division is Derek Carr. So let's go out and try to get Khalil Mack. Here's the deal that ended up going down. The Bears, they get a 2022 second-round pick. That's the 48th overall. And then a 2023 sixth-round pick. Now, personally, I do think that the Chargers ended up winning this deal if Mack can stay healthy. But Mack has dealt with a lot of injuries. And at the end of the day, Chicago gave up a lot for him. He just wasn't able to stay healthy, wasn't able to take them to where they needed to go. So after you saw that deal, Khalil Mack to the Chargers. Get ready, y'all. AFC West, best division in football. What was your one-word reaction to the trade? I don't know if I can drop an F-bomb, but I really thought about it. There's no doubt about that. So seriously, let me know your one-word reaction to the Khalil Mack trade.